All right. Lindenwood head coach Jed Stugart, the Lions finally play their first game this weekend. They're going to be at Houston Baptist, who's coming off a win at Northern Colorado, which coach knows something about. So, coach's thoughts. We talked last week about everything leading up. Now we're at game week. Thoughts on your team?
Well, now we get to finally go find out what kind of team we have. We figure we're going to be at 28 practices before this game, so we're definitely ready to play a game. I feel, that's kind of the $1 million question everybody's asked us, and until we go play somebody, to get a gauge on where we're at. But as far as how I feel, as far as the depth of our team, the starters of our team, I think everybody's mentally locked in. I think, we've had great practices. We just got to go roll it out there and kind of find out how we do. So we're excited to get there.
If anybody has a question for Coach, just let me know down in the chat and I can call on you. So obviously Houston Baptist played. They got to a big lead. Looked like they put up a lot of points. What can you say about them and what you see on tape? Obviously, and also they snapped an 11-game losing streak, so they got some confidence after that first week.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think, I definitely think they're a much improved team from the games we watched from last year to this year. I mean, they brought in a quarterback that they added a really nice receiver to their team offensively. And so, I think their back's very, very good running back. You got to get him to the ground because he doesn't, he can break tackles. So, they're just a much improved football team. There's no doubt. And I know the head coach really well, Vic. I know that, he was going to address the things he needed to address, and I think he has. When you watch how other people defend things, and you kind of learn from, you kind of say, okay, what are some things that can be we can expose or hopefully fix things that we're not exposed on. So so I feel but until we get there, we'll kind of see after the first quarter how we're measuring up.
And so starting on the road and you look at your schedule, you didn't play last week. You got a road game this week. You won't see that home game until obviously on the 17th. Just what are the challenges on, it's been a while since in the last season, getting everybody and taking it on the road?
Yeah, we've got a pretty, we got a mixture. We've got offensively, we have a lot of experience. We've got some enough veteran guys on our teams that have been through, a pretty good handful of guys that have even played, 2 FCS teams in their career in Eastern Washington and South Dakota State, and been a part of, the travel and taking plane trips and things like that. But, we also got a pretty good handful of guys. This is going to be their first trip. And so, I think that's part of the experience. I think, we do a lot of stuff in fall camp to simulate as best we can, in our practices and the times we practice, how we practice. We try to simulate a lot of things, even TV timeouts, a lot of those things that we actually practice, just to have guys, not have something be a complete surprise to them. So, I think our veteran group will, we've got enough of those to kind of help the guys be in a first game, and especially on the road. And the trip's going to be really great. Keegan's done a great job of getting this trip planned and scheduled, and I think it's going to be pretty smooth. We charter right out of St. Louis here right to Houston, and it's going to be, I think, a fairly simple trip. So that part doesn't really make me nervous, but I think our veterans will do a great job leading the young guys on the road.
And so you didn't have a game, obviously, last week. Did you get to watch football? Was it just more prep time on Saturday? How did you handle not having that contest?
So we took a little bit of opportunity to recruit a little bit, so we watched some stuff on film and stuff, obviously, and watched a little bit of I know our players got together and watched the UNC Houston Baptist game a little bit and wanted to kind of watch it as it went. But a lot of us took an opportunity to get on the road recruiting a little bit on the first weekend out. So that was nice. So we gave them we've had a lot of practices, so they had a couple of days off to just kind of heal up a little bit, and we got back to work yesterday. And like I said, we're kind of in the home stretch. So I watched a lot of football, but took advantage of recruiting as well.
And I think you said this last week, they're ready to hit somebody that's not their teammate. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, they are definitely ready to do that. It's you can only, I think one of our coaches brought up made a great analogy. We've had 28 practices by the time we get to Houston Baptist, and then we'll only have 27 more practices for the rest of the season. So it goes to show you we've practiced the whole season basically, and so we're definitely ready for that.
Well, Coach, thanks for taking the time this morning. Best of luck in Houston on Saturday, and then we'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks, Kyle. Look forward to having something to talk about next week.